Welcome to Gemini season, guys. We are going to take a peek at your love life, see how your partner's feeling about you, any important actions you need to take for the month, and overall, I'm just going to cover a couple things as far as major, major things going on in astrological, aspects. If you've got some big projects going on, especially if you're seeing this towards the end of anytime in May, before you get to the beginning of June. Make sure if you've got some big projects that you're really working on, get things kind of in order and organized. They don't have to be perfect, but there is kind of a wrapping up energy happening that first week in June. So I would recommend, if you have any last minute things that you need to do, just to kind of work on that so that you can be in the best position for that, because apparently whatever it is you're working on has definitely been very important to you and has a pretty big reward for you. So I would definitely check those details. Speaking of checking details, towards the middle of the month, we've got some new things happening. So, I wouldn't make yourself super busy at that particular point where you're just kind of overwhelmed. I would just kind of make sure you're double checking those details and don't overdo it. Okay, you don't want to overdo yourself during that time. Make sure if you need some grounding, you're doing that. And then we've got some nostalgic stuff kind of happening. Deeper rooted conversations taking place around the 18th of the month. But those are times when I would recommend to stay very mature and realistic with those conversations. I wouldn't exaggerate. I wouldn't, sell yourself up in any kind of a way. I would just stay really practical and realistic in that. And then towards the end of the month, we've got a really good opportunity to just kind of take the lead on certain aspects that you've been, these bigger pieces that you've been working towards, bigger goals, things that you've been really trying to get going. There is going to be kind of an oomph in that direction with a major transit, basically. So when we have those major transits, we've got new opportunities coming. So keep that in mind. The major transit is Mars enters Aries. So that does make sense, just because Aries has a lot to do with those things that you've been pondering on and thinking about, putting all that energy into manifesting, and now we've kind of got some of those answers coming to by the end of the month. So if you've been waiting for some bigger answers, I would say some of them should be coming in by the end of the month. If you want to look at your personal situation, please do so. Remember, this is a general reading, guys, so take with this and leave the rest. All right, let's get into it. Hey Caps. Alright, let's take a peek at love and see where things are at. First, we're going to talk about kind of the relationship currently and see what position it is in. Alright, for June 2021, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Yeah, approaches. And don't let pride get in your way. So, in love, it sounds like, for those of you who are in a relationship, maybe there's been some confrontation or something you haven't seen eye to eye on that maybe is finally kind of coming around to have some balance, some clarity, and some mutual understanding with. For those of you who are single, it looks like the end of, just kind of that tough relationship cycle is coming to an end, and you have a good opportunity ahead of you as long as you kind of don't get in your own way, okay? And that can be very different for everybody. So, especially for Capricorns, definitely know what that means and what they do, because, kind of guilty of that. I'm a Capricorn as well, and that's just kind of the way it is. Acceptance. This is kind of how they feel. So whoever it is, or whoever it is coming into your life, they are very, they can relate to you in a very interesting way. There's an acceptance of who you are, there's an acceptance of the scenario, but just an overall peace to the interactions and to the relationship, the energy in the relationship. We've got purification and ancestors. So a very wise connection, something that it definitely is good for the two of you when it comes to maybe just having kind of that breath of fresh air. Again, the end of that tough cycle approaches to where this new type of energy is going to be very refreshing and easier is what I'm feeling. Okay. And what to expect. We've got abundance. And so with that, it's almost a test. The pride thing kind of in there makes me feel like as long as you can not have too high of expectations, or get emotional when things don't go exactly the way you want them or you hope they would, then you will have an abundance of reward when it comes to the person that is in your life or that's coming into your life. Or whatever that next phase is here, it's going to be very beneficial and very rewarding for you as long as you can kind of keep that in mind. Now, as far as where everything is headed, fully appreciating invaluable lessons that life gives you. So it looks like some puzzle pieces are coming together. You know, you've got some of these aha moments of, oh my God, that's why that happened, or oh my God, this happened, or just in general, hey, all this happened so that we could come together, and this is amazing. But I do see a very strong understanding of some of these lessons that you guys have had, and I think it has to do with just the connection is very simple, it's very kind, it's very easy, it's just very easygoing, and that's where, again, just not letting yourself get in your own way, and letting that, and trusting that this is the beginning of something new, and that is refreshing and has compassion as well as this friendliness and this respect for one another. Action to take. So confidence is your key to success, and prosperity lies ahead. So, you know, it's interesting in relationships because sometimes we feel like we have to be a very certain way before it'll work, or we have to fit a mold. And this is one of those relationships where you don't have to do that. Actually, exactly the way you are is bringing in so much more than you ever thought, you know, it would, as far as influence and how someone thinks about you. So, you know, don't let that that's why the pride really came into play here, because at this point, the more confidence you have in yourself in every way you are, the more you're going to see that prosperity, and the more the other person's going to just admire the whole situation and the whole relationship here. How to best communicate. Acceptance. Man, did that come out already? Yeah. Wow. Okay, acceptance again. That is very interesting. So how to communicate. Just keep accepting this person and watch them accept you for who you are, and watch this happen. I mean, it's going to be really, really beautiful in the relationship side of things, to just have that comfort and that ease and in that relation, you know, to things of interest. Very different for you guys, but also very beautiful, I will say. Now, how to maintain the balance so that this can, you know, have the most benefit. Ooh, Jesus. Meditation for clarity. So if you need answers and things aren't clear, make sure you're taking a moment to ask those questions and to give yourself that space to channel in and hear. Listening to wisdom. Don't take the superficial emotional way out of this. Make the right decision, do the right thing. Don't miss this opportunity. It's a good one. You asked for it, you got it. I certainly wouldn't get in your own way, and that is definitely why that came out, because you definitely don't want to miss this one, okay? So let me know how that resonates, or if you want to get details on your situation, feel free to reach out, and and I will certainly look into it for you, okay? Much love. Hope you guys have a great month.